What is up, you sinners and saints? Welcome back to The Raging Atheist. I'm your boy Nakasuchi, and today we're gonna go at Matt Powell. If you don't remember who Matt Powell is, he's the young, spunky preacher that said gay people should be killed. You know, and evolution doesn't exist, and atheists are bad people, and all this crazy shit. And, you know, I did a couple videos on him because he started trolling me in my comments. And, you know, I challenged him in my last video to have a debate. He lives here in Michigan. I'm like, we can meet halfway. And, you know, it took a while, but he responded. And I think he was trying to set me up with some kind of ambush. He wanted to do it like next weekend from when he emailed me. And I'm like, nah, dude, no, chill. Let's prepare for this. Let's do it end of August. And crickets. I haven't heard shit from you, Matt. So if you see this video, please respond. I really want to do this end of August. Let's get together and let's combat ideologies. You can ask me questions. I'll ask you questions. We'll make it an hour, 2 hours. However long we need to make it. It'll be civil. But you haven't responded to me, so I'm going to take this opportunity to respond to a couple of your new videos on your fucking channel.
Being understood by the things which are made. In other words, we understand that we're created. Why? Because we clearly see these things. Understood by the things which are made, even his eternal power and Godhead, so that they are, notice these words here, without excuse. Because that when they knew God, they glorified him not as God, neither were thankful, but became vain in their imaginations, and their foolish heart was darkened. Professing themselves to be wise, they became fools.
Now, here Matt is doing his preaching thing, right? Or so you think. Look closer at that video. I can guarantee you that he's alone, that he ain't preaching to nobody. And he's making a video where he's talking shit about a dead man, Stephen Hawking, and he's gonna mock Stephen Hawking, and he's gonna be the douchebag that Matt Powell is. And this is, you know, how he's getting views, I guess, or he thinks that this is his path to stardom, is saying and doing these outrageous things. Can't knock him. I'm the fucking raging atheist. Moving beyond that. But he's gonna make fun of Stephen Hawking, and he's really gonna focus on one thing that Stephen Hawking said. A controversial thing that's up for debate, but Stephen Hawking is one of the most brilliant people to ever have lived on the face of this planet. He was debilitated by a disease, and, you know, young Matt Powell is going to make fun of that shit.
Notice that wording there. They profess themselves to be wise, but they became fools.
Because there are laws, such as gravity, the universe can, and will, create itself from nothing.
Because of laws such as gravity, the universe can and will create itself from nothing.
So there you have a douchebag being a douchebag, mocking a disabled man for having a different point of opinion, a dead man. Yeah, these are supposed to be the people that are upholding moral standards in America. You know, but I mean, he's just copying his president. He's just being a douchebag, and that's what douchebags do. But for this young buck, who's still in college, to try to contest the great mind of Stephen Hawking is fucking laughable.
Does somebody want to explain to me where that logic even comes from? That's the world's leading scientist. You know the first law of thermodynamics? Matter cannot be created or destroyed. Think about that. That violates the very first law of thermodynamics.
So does your God theory.
Oh, but that's such a big lie. That's such a big lie for somebody to believe. How could somebody believe such a big lie? And how could all sorts of people be deceived? Because Hitler said, if you tell a lie big enough, loud enough, and often enough, people will believe it.
Is he using Hitler as an example here? I mean, not really hiding shit, Matt. You're not really hiding shit, you know? I mean, and it's you guys that are lying all the time. It's Donald Trump. You know, a leftist says a Nazi comparison and, oh, we're being shitty people. But you motherfuckers do this shit all the time. You guys love Hitler. I mean, Hitler is like your it boy now.
He also said, if you let me control the textbooks, I'll control the state. And so what they've done is they've infiltrated our textbooks. And you know what? Aaron Ra and all these fruitcakes and idiots and fools, and I'm sorry I used a Bible word, fools, to describe what the Bible describes as fools. And I'm sorry if that offends you, but I'm going to just speak the word. I'm not going to compromise on this.
So this is a new conspiracy theory that Matt Powell is putting out that, you know, the very minor percentage of true anti-theists that there are somehow changing the history books to reflect secular society and atheism, when that is just not the fucking case. If you look at history, the greatest purveyor of what he's speaking about is Christianity itself. It was Christianity after the fall of the Roman Empire that closed all the Greek and Roman schools of philosophy. It was Christianity that burned all the gospels that were written about Jesus that didn't agree with their narrative. I mean, it was Christianity that had a yokehold on Western civilization for hundreds upon hundreds of years, changing history, writing its own history. I mean, I grew up understanding that God was a very real thing and not to be questioned, as most people did here in America. So for you to somehow maintain that that just isn't the case is fucking ludicrous. What it's called is displacement. You're trying to displace your guilt onto the guiltless. I mean, and it's just fucking nonsensical and illogical, and you're a fucking idiot.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, this is Matt Powell with Way of Truth. I'm here with Garrett Weiss, and we're here to talk to you today about some fallacies behind the religion of evolution, and just kind of deal with some of the things that have been going on, and just some of the issues that we've seen with evolution.
I mean, come on, Matt. What is this whole religion of evolution bullshit? There is not one. There just isn't. There isn't a religion. You can't go into a fucking church for evolution. You just can't. What there has become is a general consensus that the theory of evolution is in fact fact. And that consensus has come from historical data in the fossil record. A fossil record that you and your ilk try to destroy and discredit with insane conspiracy theories at every turn. You're going to do it in this fucking video.
And Garrett, go ahead and introduce yourself to everybody.
Yeah,
tell what you about yourself.
My name is Garrett Weiss. From Michigan. Lived in Michigan all my life. Grew up as an unbeliever. I definitely believed, in evolution. I grew up going to public school, so I had that brainwashing early as a child.
So these evangelical fucktards right here from my home state of Michigan is maintaining that going to school is not getting an education, but being brainwashed into the church of evolution.
I think we'll just go ahead and get started. So recently, the news media done an article on Kent Hovind. They've also done a couple on myself and a couple on some other people about why we don't believe in evolution and why they think we're crazy because we don't believe in evolution.
I haven't read these articles. It would be great if you elaborated on it instead of make some shit up, but let's even say that that's true. I would think that it's probably not your stance on how evolution isn't real. A lot of crazy fucktards like yourself have that stance. We understand that it's religious dogma and brainwashing. You like to toss around the brainwashing to deflect once again. But it's probably not that why they think you're crazy, Matt. It's probably your stance on how homosexuals need to be killed. Or disobedient children or disobedient people need to be killed. People that don't live a biblical lifestyle. I mean, it could be one of a plethora of crazy shit you fucking said since you started making these crazy ass videos. And I give it to you though, you're getting the attention you want. It's what you want. You're a young kid, a baby, seeking attention, and you're getting it. Shit, I'm giving it to you now. Fucking paradox.
And one of the reasons that I think evolution's so silly is because one of the founders of evolution, Ernest Haeckel, said that, he said spontaneous generation must be true, not because it's been proven in a laboratory, but because otherwise it'd be necessary to believe in a creator.
Now, I'm not going to pretend to know who the fuck you're talking about right now, but spontaneous generation, I don't agree with that, and I don't believe in a creator. So what you're saying is bullshit. What he said is bullshit if he said such. You know, and you're talking and you're going to attack Darwin and all these people that was at the beginning of the science, because you're not going to dare to attack the people at the end of the science, the people in the science right now, because their information is going to slaughter you. So you're going to focus your attacks on Darwin and all these old people because they were at the beginning of the science, and of course they didn't have all of the fucking information. But, you know, that doesn't really hold weight. It might hold weight with the retards you're speaking to, but it doesn't hold weight with us intelligent folk.
The Bible says, beware of science, falsely so called. So the Bible actually prophesied that there would be this science, falsely so called, that would deceive people and that would come and tell people, hey, you're related to monkeys. You're not really a human being. You're just an animal.
You know, I'm not even going to look this one up to call bullshit. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe y'all can prove me wrong. But I'm fairly certain it doesn't mention the word science one time in the fucking Bible. So what the fuck you're saying just isn't accurate. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I think you just made that shit up so you can talk shit about evolution. And it doesn't really work. Prove me wrong.
And so that's basically one of the things that I think is worth trying to debunk. And just for the record, just so everybody here knows, we're all college students here. Or at least I know he's graduated. I'm a senior in college this year. Garrett's an intern, and he's still in college. And we're working on our degrees. I know James is doing the same. And the thing is, people make it out, and the news media makes it out like, you know, if one young guy stands up and says, hey, I don't believe in evolution, oh, it's a news story.
Again, I really don't know what the fuck you're talking about. The only news story I've seen on you was the friendly atheist replying to some of the crazy shit you've said. Please, share this information. I'd love to research it, you know. Do I think you're crazy for not believing in evolution? Yes, I do. With any serious thought, you can see it. Science is proving it. Humans are evolving right now. There's a useless fucking bone in our wrist, and more people are being born without that bone. That is evolution. And you're gonna get into this bullshit that your homeboy next to you is gonna get into this bullshit here in a minute, and I'm gonna crush it. I'm gonna fucking crush it, because nobody's really talking about it that I know of. I don't believe this fucking shit that you're goddamn fucking gonna say, but you guys like to do that. You know, you just said what Hitler said, and now you're practicing doing exactly what he fucking said. If you throw out a lie enough, people are gonna believe it. You're gonna get fucking fucktards that are gonna believe this stupid bullshit you're fucking preaching, and it's this cult mentality that I have to fucking combat, and really read some fucking books. I mean, it's just idiotic.
Yeah, I mean, I don't believe in evolution. Just because there's a lot of stuff about evolution that's very inconsistent, and so and I'm not an expert on quoting people, and I haven't read a lot of books on the subject. I know I don't believe it. Obviously, I've heard it taught.
You know, I don't give a fuck what you believe. If you haven't read a lot of books on the subject, as you're admitting, if you haven't researched the subject, as you're admitting, shut the fuck up, you moronic motherfucker.
But I know even Charles Darwin, one of the things he said is basically, my theory will be proven wrong if there's no missing link that is found. And that's a very big aspect of evolution, is the fact that, there should be missing links. We should be able to find missing links, and those just don't exist. And
Darwin didn't say that shit. It's just another myth that people like you perpetuate about Darwin to demonize him. But it's just not true. It's like when you say that on his deathbed, he stopped being an atheist. That's not true. It didn't fucking happen. When you say on his deathbed that he denounced evolution, it's not true. It didn't happen. And this is just another one of those myths, another one of those lies, like Hitler said, that you're using to demonize one of the most brilliant minds this world has ever known. And a mind that could only work with what it had to work with. He didn't have all of the information. He did speak of the missing link. He did recognize that. But he didn't say the shit you're saying.
By Charles Darwin's own admission, if you can't find these missing links, he said, my theory is wrong. And the evolutionists, they've tried to come up with so-called missing links in the fossil record. But many of these, you can look it up. It's open knowledge that these fossils that they came up with were just frauds.
They're not evolutionists. They're archaeologists. And they're not frauds. You just like to say they are. Now, he's going to talk about Amy. although I'm fairly certain, because I've read books on it, that her name was Lucy. But they're gonna try to knock that, you know, and that's their big thing, is Lucy was a hoax, which I don't think so at all. I read a lot of accounts of Lucy, and I never read that the bones were spread out like they're gonna say, but this is what they do. You know, they say, oh, you gotta find the missing link, and then archaeologists say, what is this? And it's the missing link, and then they're like, that's not it. Nope, fraud.
Where they put bones that were miles and miles apart from each other all together to make, like, Annie, I think is a big one, that, or they call her the first human or something like that. Her fossil or her skeleton isn't even all correct, and it was found from different areas.
Again, I'm not going to research this. I'm not. Maybe I should. Put in the comment section below if I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I don't think that this is true. I think this is just shit that's been made up, and that, you know, I'm not even saying that these fucktards made it up. I don't think they're that smart. I think that they've just been indoctrinated with this shit, and they believe this shit. But it's not true. I've read those books. I read the book on Lucy, the archaeological findings, and no, this just wasn't true. They dug her up and she was in a grave. And we've got so much more than that. You know, we've recently found handmade tools, right? And it was from a lot longer than we ever thought humanity was here. But because, and Matt Powell did this himself, but because, you know, this is a lot longer than fucking the Bible says we've been here, then they have to immediately discredit. They have to immediately call it a fraud. And Matt Powell did this fucking recently. Matt Powell is a fucking fraud. He's a fraud. And what do frauds do? They say, oh, look at the fraud over there. Don't look at the fraud over here. Well, guess what, motherfucker? I'm calling you out. And I'm willing to do it face to face if you got the balls enough to do it.
We don't observe things evolving. We observe microevolution. We do not observe macroevolution. Macroevolution says a cat can turn into a dog, and microevolution is that dogs can turn into many different types of dogs.
Here's just more fucking nonsense. Nobody believes that a dog can turn into a fucking cat and that a cat can turn into a fucking dog. Nobody's fucking saying that. What we are saying is we are apes. We are evolved apes that evolved from apes. That is microevolution, motherfucker. You idiot. Do you not even fucking understand that? Woo. The fucktards got me working in a titty, y'all. In a titty. But I'm gonna end it there, because I'm not gonna go on a rant on these motherfuckers. Because they're just stupid. I mean, you guys are in fucking college already. Learn something. Learn something. You can't go into college with the mentality of everything you're learning is just brainwashing, so you need to know your own shit. That's not what college is for. Calm down. Calm down, Nakasuchi. As always, I'm your boy Nakasuchi. This is The Raging Atheist. If you like my videos, hit that thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel. Share me on your social media. Comment in the comment section below. And I'll see you soon.